Hello and welcome to the Watering Hole. Thanks for checking out this clip. Don't forget to like and subscribe because that'll make the baby Jesus cry, and I know how much you guys love making the baby Jesus cry. Okay, let's do the tweets.
Okay.
So, we're in the weirdest timeline.
Yes, we are.
There are
I
now
agree with you, but I don't know why I agree with you.
There are two things that I now find myself agreeing with Marjorie fucking Taylor Greene on. That ain't right.
I
agree with her for vastly different reasons than she holds us. But the other thing that I agree with her on is that Israel is the bad guy in the Israel versus Palestine thing.
But
she thinks that because she's
an
anti-Semitic. I think that because genocide bad.
Yeah, that's a very we are not the same type of moment.
Yes. We both arrived at the right answer, but she in the show your work part, she got it all wrong. But anyway, so Cassie N says, what the fuck is wrong with Thomas Massey and Marjorie Taylor Greene at a press conference with a backdrop labeling Trump as a pedophile? Ro Khanna played MTG for a fool. So this was the press conference where the Epstein victims came out and were like, we're just going to release our own list if you guys won't do it. And Marjorie Taylor Greene has been supporting them in that. And I'm like, yeah, no, anyone that, the longer they cover it up, the more I think there's actually something there. Because like before, I was like, there's probably not a client list. There might be one or two people that joined in with his games or whatever. That is absolutely abhorrent, and yeah, I would like to know who those are, but like a lot of times people will not be paying close enough attention to notice stuff like that going on. But the more Trump tries to hide it, the more he denies that, oh no, that wasn't my picture of a young lady that I signed, used my signature as the pubic hair, and wrote a creepy poem that was very clearly referencing fucking kids.
Mm.
I don't know. I don't think there was an actual list, but the more Trump tries to hide it, the more convinced I am that there is one and he's on it. So yeah, I find myself agreeing with Marjorie Taylor Greene again, but she's just hopped on it because she's a conspiracy-minded nutbag.
Welcome to America. On this season of America, guess what else is going to happen? More random bullshit.
I mean, is this the fracture of the GOP that we need?
So, here's the thing. The GOP fractures all... The thing that I've noticed, the GOP fractures all the fucking time. They fractured over the last Trump presidency. They fractured with Elon. They're fracturing here. They fracture all the goddamn time. The problem is that when it comes time for voting, they always do so along party lines. When it comes time for voting for voters, they almost always do it along their party lines. The GOP can fracture a billion times. It doesn't matter. It's never mattered. It has never started fucking mattering. It just doesn't matter. It keeps happening. We keep watching it happen.
I need hope. Stop this. This is bad.
I apologize.
Especially with the fucking Democrat dark money stuff that... when I finally got around to reading an article on that, I was very surprised to find out it was Brian Tyler Cohen. I thought he was a lot more progressive than that. But I guess he's kind of a shitbag.
Now, I've got to cover I have to cover that tomorrow when I get a chance. The problem is that my ability to stream is, kind of fucky-wucky at the moment.
Yeah,
but
you've been cutting in and out of this one.
I'm sorry. I wish I wasn't. But I really, really, really want the hope of just things are going to get better in regards to the GOP. We're going to see a fractured split. But every single time the fracture happens, it's long enough to make headlines.
Mm-hmm.
And then everything goes back to the status quo. We saw this with Elon Musk and his stupid America Party. It was there long enough for the media attention, and then he walked it back. This keeps happening. It ceases to matter.
Yeah.
Jasper says, do you think there will be enough of a fracture once the cult leader falls off the mortal coil? No. I'm sorry, but okay, I'm gonna go on a fucking rant. So, and this is not your fault, Jazz. So this has to do with politics in general. Everybody who watches politics for entertainment but does not study the history of political leaders, political parties, etc. And to be fair, I'm not the best student of these things either. So this is not me pointing a finger saying that I'm better than X person. I'm not. I don't study this shit near as well as I should. But we have a habit as human beings of never, ever, 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 ever looking at big picture. And I'm not meaning like, oh, you need to vote this way in order to make sure that we keep the big picture in mind. No, not like that. Big picture, as in what is actually happening in the scope of a party, because nothing politically is all because of one event. There's always a buildup over weeks and weeks and weeks, months and months and months, and sometimes that stuff just gets thrown under the rug, or sometimes none of that stuff gets reported because it's disagreements that are happening behind closed doors. But the fact of the matter is, we have a habit as human beings of looking at things as if there is one big event that is going to signal that things will change, or one big event that is going to signal that things are going to pivot. And to be fair, we've brainwashed is not the right word for it, but we've kind of been led to believe that's what's going to happen because we are a very media-centric society. We have a lot of media that focuses on the big event that changes everything. That's how you make a story. That's how you write a plot. We've been conditioned by a lot of the media we've consumed that there's going to be a moment, but there's never going to be a moment. There's 1,000 tiny micro moments, and we are not very good at keeping track of the 1,000 tiny micro moments.
Yeah. Okay, let's move on. Okay, cat turd.
Yay!
So New York Post has an article, says COVID and the flu can trigger dormant cancer cells in your lungs study. Cat turd says, oh, for fuck's sake, with a bunch of vaccine things. Now, my lefty brain saw this and was like, he's encouraging people to get vaccinated because clearly that headline says that COVID and the flu trigger dormant cancer cells, not the COVID and flu vaccines trigger dormant cancer cells.
But he's just going like, no, you had the jab. That's bad.
Yeah, so but like, not even the headline agrees with him on this. But I also took a screenshot from the article, like this is directly from the article that he posted. The breast surgeon at Staten Island University Hospital said the study underscores the importance of preventative strategies for The study underscores the importance of preventative strategies for respiratory viruses, such as vaccination. Like, his own goddamn source says that vaccine mitigates this. Fennec says, I got my COVID shot today. I don't think there's a new shot available for me at the moment. I'll have to look into that. I mean, get the same one again if you can. It's better than nothing.
Yeah.
But yeah, because the immunity does taper out over time, and yeah, COVID has all sorts of nasty things. And the more frequently you get COVID, the more likely you are to get long COVID. And long COVID is shit from what I've seen. Like, used to be one of my favorite YouTube channels is the Physics Girl, where she would just go places and do physics stuff, and she was very entertaining to watch, very informative, and it was great. Reference to her videos in some of my videos sometimes. She got long COVID, and only just within the last couple months, like she got it at the beginning of the pandemic, and only just within the last couple months, she's been posting update videos where it's like, I'm finally able to like walk to the window and look out the window and not just be exhausted by seeing other people do things.
That's sad.
Yes. And that is not an uncommon thing to happen when you get long COVID. Like the like she got a very extreme case of it, but there are other people with the same thing. Is like get your fucking COVID shots because like if you have the COVID shot, you're way less likely to get COVID in the first place. If you do get it, it's going to be more mild, and it's way less likely to develop into long COVID.
Senchidi says, yeah, pro diseasers cannot even get headlines right. Yeah, that's because so when you're anti-vax, it tells me that you don't know how to read.
The article's not even anti-vax. Like, it's the New York Post, so I forgive you for assuming that it was. But, like, this is right from the article. Vaccines are important, says the article that Cat Turd says is showing a link between vaccines and cancer. And it's like, no, not getting the vaccines. Like, I read the article, and I read a bit of the study. Study was over my head, and I didn't feel like delving into it to figure it out. But basically, my understanding is that it's the prolonged inflammation. So the longer you have whatever respiratory virus it is, the more likely it is to reignite. And this is in people that have had cancer before. It like would reignite them and cause them to metastasize. But it's the inflammation that does it, and it's the long inflammation. So like if you have the shot and then you get COVID and you've only had it for a couple days and you're not inflamed, that's fine. If you actually get COVID and you have it and it knocks you out for like a month and a half, that's an issue. So, yeah.
Wolves Rain says, how much I miss? I'm in a different state right now. Not much there other than that.
State of denial about my brilliant light bulb joke. Moving on, we've got more cat turd coming up. I'm sorry. Said, this past few weeks, Trump has Democrats cheering on high crime in cities, illegals, drug smugglers, the cartel, transgender terrorists. What else? All
right. So one by one, nobody is celebrating high crime in cities.
Nope.
What the fuck are you talking about? Two,
people aren't illegal.
Illegals. You mean people? You
Human
mean people? Beings? Yeah, we celebrate people wanting to be in the United States because that seems to be what you're describing. Yeah, and hell yeah.
What happened to the American dream?
Hell yeah, brother.
What happened to the American dream?
Brother, I'm celebrating people trying to get into in the United States. America's great. Well, yeah. Drug smugglers. I'm sorry, but I don't know who's actually celebrating that in general. By the way, drug smuggling would not be a thing if we, legalized most drugs. Anywho, the cartel. Again, once more, a thing that would not be a thing if we legalized most drugs.
Yeah, get rid of the war on drugs, you get rid of the cartels immediately, pretty much.
And transgender terrorists, are you talking about a mass shooter who people can't even fucking agree on whether or not the person was trans in the first place?
Was there some doubt on that? Last I heard, it was pretty solid that they were trans.
Let me go ahead and check, because I have seen nothing but back and forth on this.
Okay. I mean, last time I checked was last week, so I don't exactly have the most recent stuff. But also, like, as we emphasized last week, even if it does turn out that they were trans, you look at the statistics. Like, who is doing the mass shootings? Overwhelmingly straight cis white guys. Overwhelmingly. Like, the trans people are underrepresented. If anything, like, if the stats tell us anything,
this is like the fifth one in 20 years. But the real thing is not to sit here and try to argue the minutia of whether or not the person's trans. The better thing to do is to look at Cat Turd and go, who is celebrating a shooter?
Nobody.
Who is celebrating a shooter? If the answer is nobody, then what the fuck are you talking about? I don't give a flying fuck if the shooter's trans. It doesn't change anything. They were still a mass shooter.
Oh, this reminds me of when...
Who cares?
This reminds me of when the Gamergate people started latching on to... I forget the name of the game, but there was some game that came out that was kind of a mediocre game, but like the protagonist was in really, really skimpy clothes. And so the Gamergate crew were all like, oh, finally, a non-woke game. And they all made videos about how everybody was freaking out about it. But the freak out was entirely one French language IGN article that said it's kind of like
You talking about Stellar Blade?
yeah, I think so. Like the article said
Pretty sure
something
it's Stellar Blade.
that sounds familiar, but the article was something like the developers clearly have never seen a woman before, and but like everything else about it was they liked the game. But because they wrote that one line, the Gamergate crew latched onto that and be like, "Oh, the left are freaking out about this non-woke game."
You have to manufacture the freak out wherever you can, I guess.
Yeah. Spoonbill of Adam says people talk about downtown Ottawa like it's a war zone filled with roving gangs of unhoused criminals, things people fall for. I haven't been to Ottawa in a long time. I do not remember it being anything like that when I was there, but that admittedly that was a long, long time ago. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, nobody's celebrating any of these things except for the one that is just people. People trying to live their lives.
Mm-hmm.
And people on whom the economy is very heavily reliant. So like even just from a practical standpoint, if you're just like all about the money and line go up, illegal you shouldn't have made it so hard to legally enter the country if you rely on that much labor from immigrants.
Dragonic says Lollipop Chainsaw. Lollipop Chainsaw was like 20 years ago. I hate to make you feel old, but that predates Gamergate.
Am unfamiliar with Lollipop Chainsaw.
It was an old Xbox 360 game about killing a bunch of zombies with a chainsaw while playing as a skimpily dressed cheerleader. And you had like her boyfriend on a chain because it was just his head. Like you lopped off his head and he was a sentient head on a chain.
Okay, yeah, but that sounds like a stupid game that knew what it was.
Yes, that's exactly what it is.
Okay, so like that, I can get behind that. That sounds stupid. That sounds stupid and fun. But the what game we were talking about earlier? Star or something?
Stellar Blade. Stellar Blade was the one that they were talking about like last year.
Yeah, so Stellar Blade. That one. My understanding is that there was like zero reason for her to be dressed skimpily in the story at all. Like there was no sex in the game. There was no sexualization. It was just here's a lady in a skimpy outfit for no reason.
Well, and it turns out a lot of that was because you could customize her outfit. Like
I think Sean did a video on that. I hate his fucking channel name because it's just like that sounds pretentious being like, oh yeah, no, Sean did a video on that. But no, that's his channel name. It was just Sean. Like he I forget the situation, the setup, but it was like you just find out that another character's child has died and you are the one to deliver the news. And so for a laugh, he put on the skimpiest outfit that you can put her in to deliver the news, and everything still plays extremely straight with no acknowledgement of the fact that I'm telling you about your dead child while wearing a thong bikini in the middle of a war zone. It's just, that's one of those things where it's like, you can put scantily clad women in your games if you want, just make it mean something or have some effect on the game or something.
I don't care either way. I think you can put characters in whatever costume the artist wants to put them in.
But I feel like there should it should fit in with the world in some way.
I mean, so that yes, there should be some artistic consistency between your character and the world that they're inhabiting. I agree with that. But like I don't think it matters all that much. I really don't.
Yeah, but like this game was like a post-apocalyptic hellscape where you're fighting monsters. It doesn't make sense to wear a thong bikini through that.
Right, but again,
so like there's no in-universe reason for it.
But again, that's an outfit that the player chose to put the character in, not the outfit they're canonically supposed to be wearing throughout the story.
I should have known the fucking big-titty cat would agree with that.
Yeah, just video games are art, and sometimes artists are horny, man. What the fuck are you gonna do?
Okay, Answers in Genesis says creationists and evolutionists have the same facts but different interpretations. Yeah, and some interpretations are objectively wrong.
Yeah, you can have a wrong interpretation,
and
like
AIG also
not
ignores a
having
lot of the
scantily clad
facts.
women in your game just because of artistic anything.
Fuck you. Fuck you. You know what? I have the idea bulb, so I'm the one whose ideas matter here.
Yeah, but it's like behind the hat, so
Yeah,
it's an obscure idea at best.
There. Now it's positioned correctly.
Yeah, but now your back's gonna hurt.
A little bit. Anyway.
How's it going, Lilith?
So Don Volos replied to that with, "That's because evolution is a weapon." That's
what?
Evolution's a weapon.
For what?
To be wielded while wearing a bikini.
Exactly. See, now we're on the same page. Also, why is Stellar Blade still $60? Can we get that?
Is it
price dropped?
Apparently, Silksong is going to be $20.
I mean, it's a new game from a AAA studio, so I understand that they're gonna hold that price for as long as they can.
Fucking Silksong could get away with it if they wanted to.
Yeah,
I'd pay $60 for it if it came out.
More. I'm aware. I'm not so like here. I will never be the person to say that video games deserve to be more expensive. I think video games should be cheaper. What I'm saying is that I understand why they would try to hold the price as long as they can, because that's what high money developers do, and I hate it because we don't need video games with all of that fucking fidelity. It's not necessary.
Yeah.
You could make good games with less.
Yeah, it doesn't need to be 4K. Yeah, no, I have mixed feelings about that, because on the one hand, like, yeah, no, I would like games to be more accessible to more people, and it hurts to pay $60 for a game and then realize you don't like it, and oh shoot, I played it just long enough that now I can't get a refund.
Yep.
Like, that sucks. I get it. But then on the flip side, like, if you find a game you like and you play that for hundreds of hours, how many dollars per hour have you just spent on your entertainment for that? Like, Hollow Knight, I think I got it when it was $12, and I have over 1,000 hours in there. I'm fractions of a penny per hour that I paid
but I also
I don't like
the hours to money conversion for games as any kind of argument, because like at that point the inverse becomes true. You get developers that bloat games so that there's more stuff in there to justify the game being what it is, and you don't need games with bloat.
I get that too, but then also, like, I think it is still valid though, because like you look at something like a movie, you go out to the theater, that's like for just me and my partner, if we get snacks while we're there, that's like $75 for like an hour and a half. So, like, it's just that, like, the amount of money you spend per hour of entertainment, assuming it's actually good entertainment, but that's part of the argument from bloat, where like I fucking hate games where you like the tutorial itself is long enough that now you can't refund it in order to get through the tutorial.
And like the other thing that you have to factor in is that time. First of all, Georgica TTV, thank you very much for the follow. I appreciate it. And Trashermancer, thank you for resubscribing. But the thing that I really, really need to do a video on at some point, honestly, is the fact that with video games, or with any media at all, the entertainment value does not stop merely because you've stopped engaging with the media itself. For instance, you go and watch a new movie that a bunch of your friends are going to go watch, and then you guys are going to talk about that movie afterwards. Your entertainment from that movie is now spilling over into other things. Now you're excitedly talking about this and bonding with your friends more over this shared experience. And the same thing can be true of video games. It's one of the reasons why, like, my favorite RPG is Chrono Trigger. And Chrono Trigger is a 12 to 15 hour RPG. That is very short for a JRPG. That is incredibly short compared to the usual length of time people spend on those games. But there is no JRPG I can think of that I have had more meaningful conversations about with friends of mine who have also enjoyed that RPG. The amount of hours that I have gotten out of that game as entertainment far supersede when the end credits
So
rolled.
I think you're overcomplicating it, though, because that same thing applies to both games and TVs and movie. So like that.
Yeah, that's why I'm saying that you can have a short experience like at a movie that you then get more entertainment out of
Okay.
afterwards that has nothing to do it has nothing to do with how long the thing was.
Sure. Ultimately, though, what it comes down to is the big studios are producing shit and overcharging for it. For a lot of them.
Yeah. Look,
Or so I
one of
hear. I'm
my
not much of a
biggest
gamer
issues.
because I have my one game that I play for 1,200 hours.
I mean, I will say that I felt that way with Dark Excalibur says you're just arguing for adding hours to the calculation. I agree. I mean, yeah, your hours of calculation have less to do with the time playing the game. Like I spend more time engaging with Magic by building decks and fucking with my collection than I do actually playing Magic. As much as I love playing Magic, that shit happens. I spend more time
And
talking
he
about
still pays
Sonic.
$100 an hour for his Magic stuff.
It's true. Like I spend more time talking about Sonic than I do playing Sonic. I spend more time talking about Resident Evil than I do playing Resident Evil. These are still some of my favorite things in the entire fucking planet. But I do spend more time doing tertiary things in regards to those media that constantly engaging with the media directly. And I think I've gotten plenty out of them as a result. Um, there was a thing that I was responding to in the beginning, and I don't remember what it was. I have long since ADHD'd past that.
Yeah, me too.
Dark Excalibur says so. Rhino's correct. He's just not counting all the hours accurately. So I think it's not so much that one of us is right or wrong. I don't think that that's where either of us are trying to go on there.
No,
If a
it's just a
game,
matter of how you consider value.
yeah, because like so, if a game is 60 hours of slop, it's just slop that is meant to like Skinner box you through it so that you spend a lot of time on it. You're not going to really spend a lot of time talking with your friends about that. So, I mean, you just kind of threw that 60 hours into a blender. But if you're playing, like, say, an MMORPG, an MMORPG is going to take you 60 hours just to get halfway through the fucking leveling system. Like, that's going to take some time. But if you're playing that with your friends, and then you're talking about strategies and builds and shit with your friends afterwards, you're getting all of that there. It's
I've discovered a flaw in your reasoning, Cyrus.
okay.
You have assumed that I have friends.
Hi, I'm here.
Yeah, but I don't play the same games as you, so we don't talk about this ever.
Right, but we're doing a media exchange where you want me to go through Hollow Knight and I
Oh,
need to
right,
get a
yeah.
game for you to go through.
That's right. Did you decide on a game for that?
I kind of want to see you go through the remake of Resident Evil 1.
Okay.
You can beat that in 5 hours, at least one of the campaigns. There's two campaigns.
Okay.
And if I'm being honest, that is like a formative game from my childhood.
So you're going to be really disappointed when I don't like it.
I mean, you can not like a thing. That's okay.
Yeah.
Dark Excalibur says, "Oh, I agree. I'm just being a gremlin." Yeah. Sean Helfin says again, get Sonic. Okay, but look, the only Sonic game I could recommend to Rhino would be one that's good, and
New hat.
at that point, I'm just recommending Shadow
Thanks for the hat,
Generations.
Jessa. Duckies. We haven't seen the Duckies in a while. All right, moving on. So, Ted Cruz apparently said, I don't want to get between J.B. Pritzker and the Domino's pizza line, but I'll tell you what I am willing to get between him and his open doors for every human trafficker. To which he replied, and I would never want to get between Ted and a trip to Cancun when there's an emergency in Texas. Which, yes, ha 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 ha. Better one, I wouldn't want to get between Ted and his incest porn on 9/11. Do you not remember that?
I need you to repeat those words for me real quick.
Do you not remember when Ted Cruz liked incest porn on 9/11?
I vaguely remember this, actually.
That was a thing. That was the thing that Ted Cruz did, and then he blamed a staffer. That's what they always do.
Oh, yeah.
But, yeah. I mean, technically it was step siblings or whatever, but fuck off with that nonsense. Just stop with the incest. Why does all the porn have to be incest now? I don't understand that. It's not sexy. It's like I need to fast forward past the part where they're talking about that. You're right.
It's one step away from it.
You're the worst.
I am a terrible influence, and I'm going to continue to be so.
No, Cirrus forgot Horny on Main. I remembered Horny on Main.
Of all the people.
Yeah, Jasu says, I'm stuck in Washer-kun, Ladder-chan. It upsets me that I get the reference. All right. JD Vance, Couchfucker, says, of all the weird left-wing culture wars in the last few years, this is by far the most bizarre. How dare you pray for innocent people in the midst of tragedy? What are you even talking about? This is in response to him getting criticism. We'd rather your
hands be doing something instead of praying. That's what it is, my guy.
So this is in response for JD Vance getting criticism for offering thoughts and prayers in the wake of the latest school shooting, with people being like, hey, as the second most powerful person on the fucking planet, maybe do something. And he's like, prayers. I'm praying. See the hands? I'm praying. Which is, impotent.
Mm-hmm.
Much like him when there's not a couch in the room.
Yeah.
And then carrying on with this, he says, it's shocking to me that so many left-wing politicians attack the idea of prayer in response to a tragedy. Literally no one thinks prayer is a substitute for action. Then do something.
Then do something. When you say literally nobody thinks that prayer is a substitute for action, I'm sorry, but why is it that thoughts and prayers are the first thing that's always offered and follow-ups are never given?
Yeah, it's the only thing that's always offered. Who said a couch could cure his impotence? He did. In Hillbilly Elegy. That was definitely a real quote. Yeah. So moving on. This was just crazy. I don't even know what to make of this. So Judy J says, the breakthrough is a layer of more recently sprayed sludge re-wetting the layer that has already formed in the regular cloud layer. It's the next layer of clouds, but it's sucking the existing cloud's moisture back into its weird chemical matrix. Not related, but it's a touch like when we add salt to water and it changes the boiling point. More chemical slurry made its way in and changed the saturation point. Micah Coffee. So that's what she's saying about that picture.
What is that?
It's just clouds.
Okay.
And there's like some atmospheric stuff going on, so there's like a couple lines in the clouds. And they're like chemtrails. The actual clouds are sucking the moisture out of the chemical clouds or some bullshit. I don't actually know. I don't understand. I couldn't parse this. I thought maybe you would know, because sometimes you know weird shit like this.
Yeah, no, I don't.
It's sucking the existing cloud's moisture back into its weird chemical matrix.
I don't know what the fuck I'm looking at.
I don't know. It's just clouds. They just look like clouds to me. Yeah, they're funky clouds, but like, sometimes clouds be funky.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of conspiracy theories and alien stuff or whatever, it just happens because people don't look up. Like, do you ever go outside on a clear night and just look up and look at the stars, look at the moon, appreciate the beauty? You just, because, like, it's surprising how many UFOs end up being Venus.
I saw it in the night sky. It was bright as hell. Yeah, it was a planet.
And it seems to be following you, because if you look at that light source, it's like, as you're driving, it's going along with you. And then, like, if now this is where brains are weird. if you don't know what you're looking at and it hasn't figured out what that is yet, then it can something like if you move your head around, it will look like it's zipping around. And
I mean, I had that happen on the way here. So in Illinois, there are a bunch of just like vast fields of nothing that in the dark you can't see shit in, but there's I guess they're towers to signals for planes not to come near the fields, I guess is the best way to put it. I don't know what they are, but there's like these blinking red lights, and there's hundreds of them as you're driving past. I have no idea what they're for. Again, middle of the night, couldn't see shit.
Just be
what it
towers. It's the pylons that are carrying the power lines. They have blinking red lights on them to let planes know that they are there.
But they were, I will say, in the dead of night, they looked like they were following my vision, and they were spoopy as shit.
Mm-hmm. Blinking light towers or wind towers. Now, any building above a certain height has to have blinking lights on it for planes. It's usually
Naki Bree says hundreds of them blinking all at once.
In the situation that you said, I feel like wind turbines or power lines are the most likely culprits. Sorry, I say this as someone who does have some flight experience. I never got my license, but I did train to become a pilot until my grandmother died, and so wasn't paying for it anymore. So as it turns out, it's actually expensive to rent planes to practice in all the time. But
I said, yeah, they're wind turbines. Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah. Could definitely be wind turbines. But I still think power lines are a likely contender. Okay. Case orbs. Oh my god, I'm agreeing with case orbs too. What is wrong with us today? Case Orb says the last thing we need is another Clinton in office, and he posted a link to an article talking about how Chelsea
agree.
Clinton is thinking of running for the Senate. Yeah, let's say no more Clintons. I'm down with that.
Yeah, I'm
Hey,
in agreement.
I'll make a deal, Sorbo. No Clintons, no Trumps. Can we do that?
And that sounds like no gods, no masters, but it's no Clintons, no Trumps.
I mean, I feel like that's reasonable.
Yeah.
There are a lot of broken clocks today. Tom Cotton, who, okay, can we just pause on the name for a second there? I know he's a real guy, but it feels like
he sounds like a fake account.
If I was writing a story about the antebellum South, and I wanted to have the most racist character in that story, and I named that character Tom Cotton, I feel like the editor would send that back and be like, that name's too on the nose. You got to pick something else. Like, that's what his name sounds like to me, is the super duper racist guy in an antebellum South novel of some kind.
Yeah. He sounds like a joke.
Yeah. But somehow he's a real guy. He says, President Trump is right. Hamas terrorists started this war. They could end it today. All the destruction in Gaza is Hamas's fault.
Also, Lilith, thank you so much for subscribing. I appreciate it.
So
how do we convince you to play Star Ocean on stream? I know it's an older game, but I love it. I don't know is the thing. My problem is time. My problem is always going to be lack of time.
Yeah. So, yeah, speaking of time, that was really bad timing on that interjection there, as we're about to start talking about genocide. So, I know we've said this on this channel
thank
before.
You so much for the subscription. I appreciate that. Every time we get close to the topic of genocide, I'm just gonna slide it in there.
I can keep going. Yeah, well, we've
and
said
so
it.
Can I, because thank you for...
God fucking damn it.
You've been a bad little girl and you're getting a vigorous spanking right now.
Can we just say genocide bad?
Yeah, we can do that.
Whether it's Israel or Hamas doing it?
Yeah, cool.
Okay. Hamas didn't start the war. Israel's been the aggressor in this for decades now.
They didn't start the fire.
October
It was
7th
always burning.
was not the beginning of this conflict.
Nope.
Not by a long shot.
So telling Hamas to immediately give back all the hostages, man.
That's even if they did, that's not going to end the war.
No,
like,
it's
yeah,
not.
They should give
It's
the
not gonna
hostages
end the
back,
war.
but Israel should stop bombing babies.
Yeah.
Like,
Hellbound Hillbilly says always get consent before you slide it in there, unless they're into that.
well, then it's consensual non-consent. You still need consent for your non-consent play.
Yeah, but I can't say that it's consensual afterwards, because then
No,
I'm
afterwards, that's when you got to do the
character.
aftercare. That's some of the most important shit when it comes to that sort of stuff.
Very true. Very true.
Oh, that's the last one. We're done.
Oh, well, we ended on Tom Cotton?
We ended on Tom Cotton and genocide. I know how to plan things.
God, I love America.
America, America. I don't actually know that song.
It's blasphemy when you sing it.
From sea to shining sea.
I prefer the national anthem being "I want to be the very best," like no one ever was.
I always found it, as a Canadian, I always found it a tad bit offensive that your national anthem is literally like it's about that time when, like, it's about the War of 1812. It was written in the War of 1812, like the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air. That was the guy who wrote the song was held captive in a ship while the British forces were attacking whatever fort it was. And he could see the flag in the rocket light. And so
it was
he wrote the
Fort
song.
the White House.
But like the third verse of that song is a little bit offensive to Canadians. Just gonna say. I forget what it is because it's been a long ass time since I've listened to that particular melody.
If I cared more about nationalism, I would say, "Good, I'm glad you're getting offended, brother."
Oh, no, you know what? We're not done. We're not done. I want to do a thing.
No, I don't want you to do a thing.
I want to do a thing.
I'd rather you not.
I have to find the thing because I forgot that I wanted to do this thing.
Okay, what's the thing?
Do.
Are we gonna take so long to get it set up that it's gonna lose the comedic timing aspect?
It potentially. It's actually not going to take long to get set up at all. I just need to make sure that I don't have my autofill turned on so that I don't dox myself with it. Just disable it right now. Autofill options for this website. Don't autofill any options.
I believe in you.
Okay, there we go. Boop, boop, boop. Okay.
Yep. I can't read that shit.
I don't think that's the right one.
First name, last name, phone number.
Oop. Yeah, that is the right one. So I'm in. Okay. So this is the PragerU teacher qualification test.
Okay.
So we're going to go through that together.
Sweet.
First name. Let's make it something fun. Prager
John.
and suck a dick.
Oh, I thought we were going to call him John Stroker.
No, Prager can suck a dick.
Okay.
Phone number 999-999-9999.
69. Where's the 69?
Sure. Email address.
Damn it.
I'm just going to use my email because.
Please submit PragerU teacher qualifications to Vice Rhino at.
Oh, phone number doesn't look right. God damn it. Let's see. I think 904 is
770.
California.
Okay.
What's an exchange in California?
I have no idea.
67121 or 2. That's a 4. 2413. Sure, let's call it that. And it worked. Address 125 America Boulevard.
Gotta love America.
City. I mean, it's giving
America.
me the... Sure. Palo Alto, California. That's what it's telling me. 94304? Sure. 94304. Country. United States of Trumplandia.
America.
Which best describes you? Let's say we're a teacher educator.
Best describes me as American.
So there's 34 questions. Let me adjust the crop. Just a second. Studio mode. No. What are you doing? Oh, that's the wrong thing. Is selected. There we go. There we go. Let's just delete that. There we go.
Now I can't read shit.
Yeah, I know. Wait for it. Wait for it. Wait for it. Ah!
Oh, I can read now.
Okay.
Thanks, Mickey.
Question 1. According to the Supreme Court case Meyer versus Nebraska, 1923, and Pierce versus Society of Sisters, 1925, who has the ultimate right to direct a child's education? A.
The
Superintendent
parents.
of schools. B. The parents. C. The Board of Education. D. The Federal Department of Education.
I'll take B for $100, Jim.
Okay. That is correct. Next question. What is the fundamental biological distinction between males and females? A. Height and weight. B. Blood type. C. Personal preference. D. Chromosomes and reproductive anatomy.
Why is this a fucking question?
On a teacher's qualification
Why
quiz.
is this a fucking question?
On a teacher's qualification test.
Like, biological distinction, that's just a leading term. Because we can say that, you know, the biological distinction is chromosomes and reproductive anatomy. But it would
the
be
social
wrong.
distinction.
But they would still be wrong because we're not talking about fucking gametes.
Yep.
But okay, sure. Continue.
How is a child's biological sex typically identified? A. Parental affirmation of the child's preference. B. Personal feelings. C. Visual anatomical observation and chromosomes. D. Online registration.
Do we fucking scan chromosomes?
We do not.
What the fuck are they talking about?
They just have to get that in there because they know that visual anatomical observation is not actually sufficient in all cases to determine sex.
They just do the visual, they literally just do the anatomical observation as evidenced by the fact that when you have an intersex kid, they're basically doing a best guess on which side to snip.
Yeah. So we know what answer they're going for, so let's just cheat the system. That is correct. Which chromosome pair determines biological sex in humans?
Why are we focusing so fucking much on the
Because
trans
this
shit?
is the most important issue when determining whether or not teachers are qualified.
Why is the determining factor for whether you can be a teacher how you feel about trans people? Why is that the... What?
They didn't say anything about trans people, sirs. I mean, obviously that's where they're going, but like...
Shut the fuck up and eat a dicycle.
Yeah. So we know
what
they're
they're
looking
going
for
for
XXXY
here.
in there.
Sure.
So why is the distinction
we
between male
still
and
on
female
the
considered
fucking trans
important in
thing? What
areas
the
like
fuck?
sports and privacy?
I...
For equity in minor communities, to preserve fairness, safety, and integrity for both
I'm
sexes.
a teacher who's not a fucking biology
Cyrus,
teacher, why
Cyrus,
the fuck do I care?
Cyrus, this test is actually being used in Oklahoma. This is the actual test they are using in Oklahoma before you're allowed to teach there.
Then burn Oklahoma. Fuck it. We could be a 49-state country. That's fine.
Okay. So, why is the distinction between male and female considered important in areas like sports and privacy? For equity in minority communities, to preserve fairness, safety, and integrity for both sexes, to increase participation in sports, to enhance the self-esteem of transgender children.
They think they're going to ask for it to be B. That's what they want it to be.
Yeah, that's what they want it to be. But especially in schools, it doesn't fucking matter. All the sports are co-ed. Like,
okay,
until you get to high school, all the sports are co-ed. Whatever. Question 6. Should teachers be allowed to express their own political viewpoint in the classroom in order to persuade students to adopt their point of view?
What is a political viewpoint? What is our definition of a political viewpoint? Because fucking anything can be boiled down to politics. Every goddamn thing can be boiled down to it. So what is a political viewpoint?
Here's the thing, is like they're looking for D, which is no, the classroom is not an appropriate venue for political activism. But that's what they're doing. They're doing political activism.
Yeah, this is them saying, no, the individual teachers don't have a right to this, but we, PragerU, do. So let's just press D and move on, I guess.
Let's just collect the D. No, it's not. What did the Supreme Court
really
rule
going
in
through
2025
this
case
whole
Mahmood
thing?
v. Taylor?
What did the Supreme Court...
That was the one...
Why would it fucking matter? Why would it matter? You're a teacher, and
Well,
if you're not a teacher of law, why the fuck do you care?
No, this one does matter because
none of this fucking matters.
This one does matter because
matters.
no, this one actually matters because if you're a teacher and you get the letter from the parent saying, "Hey, I don't want my kid in your class because you are gay," then you have to let that kid not be in your class. Because that's what it ruled. What are the first 3 words of the Constitution?
We the people.
No, A, in God we trust.
That's not 3 words.
B,
Fuck
we the people.
off.
C, life, liberty, happiness. And D, the United States. Like, so for this one, like, they knew that they had to get it down to 3 words because life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness.
But they couldn't just type in God we.
Yeah, like, oh, they're so dumb. We the people.
What do we have
That's
next?
also technically that's the preamble. That's not actually part of the Constitution.
Yeah, but they're dumb.
I know. Why is freedom of religion important to America's identity? A, it protects religious choice from governmental control. B, it makes Christianity the national religion. C, it bans all forms of public worship. D, it limits the religious teaching in the public square.
They want it to be A, and I could even argue that A is also like technically correct. So
It is technically correct, but they just don't understand what that means.
Yeah, they don't.
And also, like, they are making B, like, the way they use the term freedom of religion, B is the answer, but A is the correct answer.
You can be any religion you want, so long as it's Jeebus.
Yeah. What are the 2 parts of U.S. Congress? House of Lords and House of Commons, Judiciary and the Senate, Executive and Legislative, the Senate and the House of Representatives. Yeah, we all know that one.
Yeah, it's Senate and the House of Representatives. But...
Just for the record, I've already been through this thing.
But you don't have to know that if you're not a teacher who focuses on that.
So, fun fact, I've already been through this, and as a Canadian, I got 1 question wrong. That was it. It's so fucking basic. How many U.S. senators are there? That's 100. No.
Yeah, because it's
2
per state. Yeah, it's House of Representatives has more.
Why do some states have more representatives than others? Representation is allocated by population. They cover a larger geographic area. They have held statehood for a longer period. I'm not going to read all the answers for this. We've gotten past the trans things. That's the most egregious part of this.
What is the primary responsibility of the presidential cabinet? Advise the president?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who signs bills into laws? The president.
Why does any of this matter if you are a biology teacher?
What is the highest court of the United States? It doesn't.
The Supreme Court. What is...
In the United States, which of the following is a responsibility reserved only for citizens? Serve on a jury, own a home, pay taxes, possess a driver's license. Obviously serve on a jury.
Yeah.
Which of the following are...
Did they just try to say that it's not a citizen's duty to pay taxes? Is that the implication there?
Uh-huh, yeah. Or, well, what I got out of there is that the illegals don't pay taxes because they're not citizens. So which of the following are explicitly listed in the Bill of Rights? Freedom of speech and religion, voting and public education, reproductive rights and healthcare, or freedom from data collection and surveillance?
It's A. That's the one that's explicitly in there.
Yeah.
But...
So they're trying to tell you that you don't actually have a right to all those other ones.
Yeah, that's what the implication is.
What does the Second Amendment protect? The right to keep and bear arms in a well-organized militia. I noticed that you're missing that part.
No, it wants us to have bear arms, so...
What is the supreme law of the United States? Presidential
The
executive orders,
Constitution.
laws passed by Congress and signed by the president, laws passed by state legislatures and signed by state governors, or the Constitution.
They're going to say it's the Constitution.
Yes. That is
Despite
correct.
the fact that there are several things the Constitution doesn't fucking cover, which is why we have amendments. Anyways,
Who wrote the first draft of the Declaration of Independence? I think this is the one that I got wrong.
Optimus Prime. I don't fucking care. It doesn't matter.
It's Thomas Jefferson.
We're not. If we're not doing political history, none of this fucking matters. If you're a teacher who doesn't cover this shit, if you're a math teacher, what the fuck does any of this have to do with anything?
Because you got to be sufficiently jingoistic.
Don't fucking care.
When was the Declaration of Independence adopted? July 4th, 1776. What's the primary reason the colonists fought the British? To resist expansion of the British Empire, to maintain slavery, to resist taxation without representation. Looking at you, DC and Guam and American Samoa and
They're
Puerto
going to
Rico.
say it's C, but we don't live up to those values.
No, we don't. Who were the first 3 U.S. presidents? Oh, no, this is the one I got wrong.
It wasn't Ben Franklin.
Yeah, no, it's Washington, Jefferson, Madison. Is that it?
Yep.
I don't remember. That's not right.
No? Fuck if I know. Again, it's not important fucking information. It's not.
Washington, Adams, Jefferson? There we go. But also, like, if you get it wrong, it just sends you back to the question. You get it right again. So this is the teacher qualification test. If these were actually important questions, you wouldn't be able to do that. It's just
because it's not about qualification. It's about them being able to say, "Hey, technically, you agreed to all of our bullshit."
Yeah. Who is called the father of our country? George Washington. I don't know who calls him that, but that's what they're looking for. What did the Emancipation Proclamation do? Here we get to some fun stuff here. It ended prohibition, it freed Confederate generals, freed slaves in the North, and ended slavery in the rebelling Confederate states.
They're going to want it to be D.
Uh-huh. That's correct. What was Abraham Lincoln's primary reason for waging the Civil War?
To preserve the Union?
To preserve the Union, not to abolish slavery.
It was to preserve the Union, because he literally was quoted saying that if he could preserve the Union without abolishing slavery, he would.
Uh-huh. Yeah, that's one that they bring out a lot of times to say that the Civil War wasn't about slavery.
But now that we're done talking about the slavery stuff, we got to move on to Martin Luther King Jr. so that we're not talking about black people badly.
Yeah. What was he best known for? Advocating for diversity, equity, and inclusion? Yes, actually.
Yeah, but they're going to say that it's D.
Yeah. But, like, absolutely, he was advocating for diversity, equity, and inclusion. How did the Cold War end? The Soviet Union collapsed, I think.
Yeah, that's like the country we were dealing with stopped having money.
Yeah. Who was president during the Great Depression and World War II? Like, remember those big times that everybody remembers as being bad? Which president's responsible for that is what they're going for here, because it's FDR, and he did a lot of good shit that they don't want you to think is good shit.
Yeah.
What's the name of the national anthem?
Star-Spangled Banner.
Jingoism. Why are there 13 stripes on the states to symbolize the original colonies?
13 original colonies.
Yeah. Which national holiday honors those who died while serving the U.S. military?
Memorial Day.
Which of the following is a phrase from the Pledge of Allegiance? One nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Was not always that way, but sure. Why
No,
the fuck
originally
not?
it was C. Last question. For whom does the United States government derive its power? Right now, from the president.
It's supposed to be from the people,
It's
but
supposed
it's
to
top
be.
down now.
Yeah, that is correct. How would you rate the difficulty of their test? Easy. It's a fucking joke.
Can we put a version of it that just says stupid? Like, can the difficulty level be stupid? Do they have a fucking picture of Dennis Prager at the
They have
end?
a picture of Dennis Prager.
God, my boner's gone. I'm sorry.
Didn't realize that you had it in the first place at the moment. Okay, so
neither did
now
I.
I have to show you the oh no.
National anthem should be I don't want to be an American idiot.
Bang, 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 bang.
What are we doing now?
I am getting the certificate.
Why is there a certificate for this fucking shit? This is as useless as those certificates you got from the Pokemon trading card game tutorial CD-ROM.
There. This is to certify that Prager can suck a dick, has successfully completed teacher qualification test. So
We
there we
have
go.
fun here.
It's nice that they tried to do some data validation on their little form.
They suck.
I was actually like, when I thought about doing that, I'm like, they'll probably have a flag go up if you write about. No, they can't with Dick because some people's first name
the
is
only
Dick.
flag they have is the American flag, brother.
Yeah, indeed. Okay. So yeah, that's it for our stream. It's an
That
early
does
one
seem to
tonight.
be it. It is.
Yeah.
And I got stuff to do. So that works out, actually.
Are you still streaming?
No, I don't.
Okay.
I wish I had time to, but I do not.
I will see if there's someone to raid. If not, I'm not raiding anyone.
Woo!
But I do have a special end credit segment for you today.
What we got?
So as always, fuck off.